Imagine this. History isn't just events. It's real people with real final moments that actually happened. Number 10. Robert Falcon Scott, 1912. Scott was a British explorer who reached the South Pole only to discover he had been beaten there by a Norwegian team. That moment crushed him mentally. On the return journey, things got worse fast. Extreme Antarctic cold, hunger, and exhaustion started breaking the team down one by one. They were literally dragging sledge through endless ice with no hope left. Scott and his remaining teammates finally got trapped inside a tent during a brutal blizzard and never came out again. When rescuers found them months later, they were still inside, diaries untouched, documenting their final days. Number 9. John Jacob Astor IV, 1912. Astor was one of the richest men in the world aboard the Titanic. When the ship struck the iceberg, he stayed calm instead of panicking like others. He even helped his young pregnant wife into a lifeboat, making sure she was safe first. But he was not allowed on board due to women and children first rules. So he stayed behind on the sinking ship, smoking a cigarette as the deck slowly tilted into the freezing Atlantic. He died when the Titanic finally went under. Number 8. Valery Kodymchuk, 1986. Valery was a night shift operator inside Chernobyl Reactor 4. It was a normal working night until a sudden explosion tore the entire reactor apart. Concrete, metal, and fire instantly destroyed the building structure. Valery was closest to the explosion point. He was likely killed instantly, and his body was never recovered due to the reactor collapse and radiation. He became the first recorded victim of Chernobyl. Number 7. Krista Mikolev, 1986. Krista was a school teacher selected by NASA to go to space as part of a public outreach mission. Millions of students were watching her launch live in classrooms across America. Everything looked normal at first, but just 73 seconds after liftoff, the Challenger shuttle broke apart in the sky due to structural failure. The vehicle disintegrated at high speed. Krista and the entire crew died instantly. A moment of inspiration turned into one of NASA's darkest tragedies. Number 6. Georgy Markov, 1978. Markov was a Bulgarian journalist who had fled to London after criticizing his government. One evening, while waiting at a bus stop, he felt a sudden sharp sting in his leg, like someone had poked him with an umbrella. He thought nothing of it at first. But inside that tiny pellet was a rare poison, ricin. Over the next few days, his body slowly shut down and he died in hospital. It later became one of the most infamous assassination cases in Cold War history. Number 5. Sadako Sasaki, 1955. Sadako was just a child when the atomic bomb hit Hiroshima. She survived the explosion and initially seemed fine. But years later, radiation damage began affecting her body. She was diagnosed with leukemia as a result of exposure. While hospitalized, she started folding paper cranes, believing in a legend that 1,000 cranes could grant a wish. She kept folding them, hoping to recover, but her condition worsened and she died at just 12 years old. Her story became a global symbol of innocence lost in war. Number 4. Terry Lloyd, 2003. Terry was a veteran war journalist reporting from Iraq. He was on the ground covering active conflict zones. During a chaotic battle situation, his convoy got caught between opposing fire. He was hit during the crossfire while trying to document what was happening. He died in the field doing what he always did, reporting from danger zones. Number 3. Donna Party members, 1846 to 1847. A group of American settlers tried to cross the Sierra Nevada mountains, but early snowfall trapped them in the mountains. Weeks turned into months. Food ran out. Rescue was impossible due to deep snow. Survivors later reported extreme starvation conditions where people had to fight just to stay alive. Only a portion of the group survived the winter. Number 2. Space Shuttle Challenger Crew, 1986. 7 astronauts and specialists were aboard Challenger. Everything looked normal during launch, but seconds after liftoff, a structural failure caused the shuttle to break apart mid-air. The explosion happened so fast that the crew likely did not have time to react. Millions watched it live on television. It became one of the most tragic moments in space exploration history. Number 1. Chernobyl Liquidators, 1986. After the reactor explosion at Chernobyl, firefighters and emergency workers rushed in without knowing the full radiation danger. They were trying to stop a nuclear disaster, but the radiation levels were extremely high. Some of them received lethal exposure within minutes to hours. They didn't die instantly, but over days and weeks, the bodies began shutting down from internal radiation damage. Their sacrifice helped prevent an even larger catastrophe across Europe. These weren't just deaths. These were real human stories, moments where history changed forever in seconds or minutes.